are you doing? I'm Antonia from Timpanies, but today you might be able to see I'm not in Timpanies. I actually work from home on a Wednesday and a Thursday, so today you can see me in my natural habitat. And home for me is in Battersea. In fact, I'm really blessed and I look out over onto the Thames right behind you. I would show you a picture. I'll fling a picture up so you can see my view actually, because I think it's a worthwhile view. So this week, what have I been up to? This week, oh my goodness, if I could forget, I went to my brother-in-law's wedding. So that's my husband's brother. And I'll show you some pics right here. And it was just the most magical wedding in Edinburgh. And on the night before the wedding, we were all sat around the table with the family having dinner, and my father-in-law pipes up and says, I've been watching you on YouTube. So Dave, hi, this is a shout out to you and all your work friends who have been watching me on YouTube. I hope you're gonna enjoy this investment issue, and I hope it's gonna help you make wise purchases of all those wonderful handbags I know you're gonna be buying. So without further ado, shall we crack on? Like any luxury good, handbags can be purchased for investment, but there are certain things that you would want to consider if you are particularly looking at a handbag for investment. And I thought that I might just quickly round these up for you. This is my personal opinion. Just having worked in the resale industry for a certain amount of time, I noticed the sorts of bags that have a continuously high demand and therefore are very, very easy to resell. And I also noticed the bags that people are making money on. So strap yourself in, let me know your thoughts, share it with someone you think might be interested, and let's begin. With any investment, there is always a risk. So don't sell this to your husband saying, I'm going to start investing in handbags, and expect him to be 100% on board, because there is a risk and you are reliant on humans' demand, which you and I both know we're subject to random fluctuations in what we fancy and what we don't fancy. So I would be looking at investing in a handbag over the longer term. So I'm looking not at the kind of it bags that are current for this season or that might be current next season, but I'm looking for those longer term, safer trends. And that's what I'm going to be basing this discussion on. So my first piece of advice to you is, and it's going to sound really obvious when I say it out loud, but hopefully you'll understand my point when I say it. And that is that you want to be trying to find the bag that you're looking for at the cheapest price possible. And of course, that doesn't mean to say that if you do go into Chanel, Harrods, wherever, and buy the bag brand new, that you won't make money on it. I'm just saying that if you buy it cheaper, you make more. That's simply all I'm saying. And when I say the cheapest price possible, I still mean that you're looking for a bag in absolutely pristine condition. So even though it might be pre-owned, you're still looking for it to have a box, a receipt, authentication, the card, everything. You want it to have all of those things. And places that you might go to be able to pick up these bags at cheaper prices would be stores like mine, auctions, perhaps you might have a favorite agent that you use. There's lots of different places. I personally don't use eBay, but I know that some people have had success there. So that would be my first starting point. So my next point when considering handbags for investment are the brands you choose to buy into. So the three brands that I would really recommend that you buy would be Hermes, Chanel, and Louis Vuitton. And beyond just the brand, you also want to look at the bags that you're buying. So you want to opt for those classic styles. So the Birkin, the Kelly, the classic 2.55 or the reissue, as well as say something like the Neverfull. The ones that you've seen and you've watched the prices go trickle upwards. Sometimes not even trickle, sometimes, you know, there's a big jump. I might actually flash some little stats up there. I'm an economist at heart, you know that. Let's have a little look at this lovely graph, which I can attribute to Bag Hunter. We can actually see that between 2010 and 2016, the value of the Chanel 2.55 increased by 70% in the United States. So this is in dollars. If we actually compare this to housing prices, which increased by 8.1%, and the S&P 500, which increased by only 13.2%, you start to see what sort of investment a Chanel bag might be able to provide you. You can have a little follow of what they've been up to, and maybe you might be able to work out what you would have made on the bag if you'd bought it, say, 5 years ago. Now, the only exception to the rule that I mentioned in my first point is Hermes, and because they restrict supply so much, it's actually near on impossible to go into an Hermes store and buy Birkin, and that means that as soon as you buy that handbag, you could probably sell it the next day for at least a couple of thousand more. So, I mean, when we're talking about investments, that's a serious investment, isn't it? Next up, colour. Basically, the idea, if you're looking to invest, is when you come to sell, you want people queuing up to buy your bag, because that means that you get to set that price way up here. And although you might love the mermaid bag and you want your initials scribbled all over it, unfortunately, no one really wants to buy it off you. So think boring. No, think classic. Now, it is customary for us Brits to leave the best till last, but unfortunately I haven't. And the worst bit of the news is, if you are really buying for investment, you can't use the bag because it has to be in pristine condition. And I'm sure you're all a hell of a lot better than me at keeping your bags looking fresh and wonderful, but even still, if you really want to make the maximum you can from this handbag, it needs to leave in exactly the same condition as it arrived, because that means that you are purely relying on the price increases year after year, and there's going to be no deduction for wear and tear. I'm so sorry. I'll try and leave on a happy note in a second. So thank you so much for watching this quick investment video from me. If you found the information helpful, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, let us know what else you'd like to see. In fact, I'm trying to arrange for you to come with me and visit some of my customers when we do collections, because some of them live in amazing places and they've got some serious wardrobes. So stay tuned for more. Subscribe, like, share, do all of that, guys. And also keep safe and have a great week. Bye.
I'm glad you came.